As always, this video is intended for adults 21 and older and is for educational and historical interest only. I'm not here to promote or encourage tobacco use nor purchasing of any tobacco products. This is all about tradition, craftsmanship, and appreciation of the blend itself. Let's dive in. Welcome back, guys, to the Spurgeon Piper. This is Wilson with you. So I recently had a video come out. I reviewed Captain Black Cherry. I mentioned in that video that it is a blend that can ghost your pipe. And not surprisingly, there are a lot of follow-up questions. Well, what do you mean ghost your pipe? And what are ways to avoid that? Should I avoid all blends that can ghost your pipe? And other questions either that happened with that video or I've had in the past. So I thought, hey, this is a good time to cover this subject, especially if you're new to pipe smoking. It's something that could frustrate you, and there's solutions to it. So that's what I hope to provide for you. We're going to go over what exactly we're talking about when we talk about ghosting a pipe. What blends do that? What blends may not do that so much? And what are ways to get around this whole issue in the first place? Ghosting a pipe involves the natural flavors of that blend, of that tobacco leaf, or added flavors. So there's a cherry flavoring, like with Captain Black Cherry, that flavor embeds itself into the pipe. Now, that could either mean literally if you have a brand new pipe and it's mostly wood briar, it kind of gets into the wood externally to some extent. Usually it's when there's already a carbon cake formed, and that carbon cake's inside the bowl. It's what happens. It's a buildup of when we smoke our pipe. It embeds itself into that cake. And so what happens is you're done smoking, say, Captain Black Cherry, and you want to try another blend that has nothing to do with cherry, and you taste that cherry blend or flavor and you don't want to. That's what ghosting your pipe is. The problem with this is it can really mess up the flavors you want to taste in another blend. If you're really wanting to taste, I don't know, I got here The Haunting by Warped Cigars and C&D. It's a cigar blend. If I really just want to taste pure cigar, I don't want to taste cherry. Or, I don't know, I got Solani aged burley flake here. If I really just want to taste the character of this delicious burley blend, I don't want to taste cherry or whatever other flavor may be coming out. That's the issue with ghosting. So are there more blends, or are there certain blends that do it more than others? Yes. The most obvious example, the one that's going to give you the most difficulty, is going to be aromatic blends. And when we talk about aromatic blends, we're talking about blends that have been heavily cased or top flavored with a flavor. That flavor really comes out. Captain Black Cherry, as I just mentioned, I have this older bag of this pouch of buttered rum. There's Lane Limited 1Q. There's blends with vanilla, blends with cherry, with alcohol and rum, with, I don't know, take your pick of a flavoring. Those are going to be more prominent. That food grade flavoring can come out and embed itself into your pipe. Those are going to be the most problematic. So you have those are the more obvious ones. These are the ones that are going to give you the most problem. There's some other ones that can be an issue though. You have blends that are heavy in latakia. And latakia is a natural, you can go into an aromatic, but it has this natural, very smoky essence to it. And so you have heavier blends, like Nightcap's getting on the heavier side. There's even heavier blends. Some people call these latakia bombs. They're super heavy, like 50% or more. This one probably isn't 50%, but there's those that are pretty heavy in latakia. Blockade Runner by C&D is another good example of that. And so that latakia, over time, that it can embed itself again into your bowl, and you start tasting in other blends maybe you don't want to taste. How much latakia? I've researched this. Some say 10% or more latakia. That's when you really could start having the taste of latakia embed itself into your pipe and taste in other blends. Where if you take, let's see, I got behind me a jar of Chelsea Morning, GLP's Chelsea Morning. It's a lighter English blend, not really something I need to worry about. So that's an example. English blends with especially heavier latakia blends, that's something that can come through. Another one that can come through, I actually just had it out here, is cigar blends. I haven't experienced this as much, but I have experienced it a little bit. I just don't mind it. And I'm going to get to that in a moment. Cigar blends can do the same. Cigar is a very robust leaf. the different kind of cigar leaves out there, but you can taste it. It's evident. It doesn't take much to influence a blend, and sure enough, you're going to taste it in your pipe. If you continue going forward with it, be aware of that. You may not want that at all in your taste buds, in your pipe. So you have cigar leaf. Then you have Perique blends that are heavier in Perique. So, right here I have Rat Ray's Old Gallery. It could be one of something like that, or Cajun Cake by C&D. Those blends are maybe on the heavier side of Perique. Over time, they can also start to rub off and ghost your pipe, your bowls. And so you're going to taste this peppery spiciness in other blends you try. There's another sneaky one. And if you've been around long enough in pipe smoking, you've tried this and you either love this or you hate this. And that is Samuel Gawith blends, or Gawith and Hogarth. Let's say that may be the more problematic one. But I'm going to give you an example here of one that has an issue, an additive, and I called it an issue, may not be an issue for you. There are a lot of Gawith and Hogarth blends, and then as well as Samuel Gawith, both are made in England, that have a lot of Lakeland essence added to them. Lakeland essence, if you're not aware, is like this rose water, perfumish scent and taste that some people love and some people hate. And I'm not going to get into that right now, but they can embed themselves and have a ghosting element to your pipe, and you really may not want that into your pipe. So that's another one that can do it. And so those are ones that are more prominent in involving a ghosting. But there's blends that really don't, like Virginia blends, red Virginia, bright Virginia, orange Virginia, mahogany, whatever. Virginia blends don't really tend to do that, as well as they're also in just about everything. But they don't have this prominent taste that's very robust that's going to come forward, this character. Another one that doesn't really do that so much is Burley blends. And like I have Salon Age Burley Flake I just mentioned. They're not going to do that so much. I mean, you have the flavors of burley, molasses or nuttiness or earthiness, but they're not super robust like these other ones are, that have these characters that are going to just be very prominent and embed into your pipe so much. And if they do, Virginia and burley, well, you're probably not going to notice them because most blends have both of these elements in them in the first place. So they're not so much a problem, not something you need to concern yourself as much about. Are there some pipes that do this more than others? Yes. So the most obvious example, and one we're going to have more experiences with, is briar wood pipes. Briar is going to be one that probably holds on to this more than the other styles of pipes out there that at least I have experience with. So you're going to experience more with your briar pipes out there, maybe the other woods, but I'm not going to comment because I don't know 100% certain with those if they're any different than briar. You're then going to have these other ones that people comment say it can't happen with. I've heard corn cobs. Corn cobs, they will not ghost, so just stick with corn cobs. I think they certainly are. There's less a concern in ghosting your corn cob pipes. However, I guarantee you can ghost a corn cob. I've done it. It can happen. Be aware of that. Maybe they do less so, and I think that's true, but they can just because of the type of material they're made out of. Meerschaum, like I have here by MDSD. Meerschaum is this other substance that I also is less prone to ghosting. And I can say for sure because I have a lot of experience with this one and some other ones I have up on my rack. But they can still carry it a bit, that flavor a bit around. Maybe it just dissipates quicker. But be aware of that. Briar is going to do it. Corn cobs, less so meerschaums, but there's still a danger or a problematic issue that can arise with those type. All right, so we covered what type of pipes it can happen to, which is almost anything. We covered these blends and how it can happen. So how do we mitigate that? Well, this video is not about having a pipe rotation. All right, that's another video for another time, but let this just be one reason why you may want to consider having multiple pipes. All right, so you not just having one that you shove one tobacco in or all sorts of tobaccos day in, day out. Can you do that? Hey, get after it. If that's what you want to do, God bless you. That's no problem. However, if you're like many, you don't want to taste cherry in your nightcap, then you probably want to go forward with this solution or this method that is not new to me. By no means it's been going on for many, many years, and that is just having different pipes designated to different blends. All right, so you may just have one, go ahead and have this pipe here. This is my aromatic, this is not, but this is my aromatic pipe, let's just say. And so I want to smoke aromatic blends in this one. I'm going to smoke buttered rum, and I'm going to smoke my Captain Black Cherry or whatever else. And this is only going to be my aromatic blend. That way I don't ghost any of my other pipes. You might even go farther than that. You might say, this is my buttered rum pipe, and then I'm going to have this pipe that is going to be my Captain Black Cherry pipe. That's something you want to do, get after it. You may not want to go that far, but that is a solution. And then you can have, well, this pipe is going to be for my English blends or my heavy Latakia blends. And I don't have another pipe on hand, but, oh, here we go. Yeah, I do. And then this blend is going to be, what did I miss out here? Virginia Perique. You get the idea what I'm talking about. You have certain blends designated as certain pipes, and you can go very intricate in this. You can say, as I mentioned, this is my Peterson nightcap pipe here, and I have a pipe for this blend and this blend. That's all up to you. I don't go that far. How do I handle this? Well, I've come to just enjoy some of the crossing of flavors and characteristics. So I certainly don't put aromatic blends in my pipes. If I'm going to smoke an aromatic, usually it's going to be in a corn cob. I may put it in my meerschaum because it will dissipate probably after a bowl or two. I don't do much more than that. I might occasionally, if I'm reviewing a blend and I'm not going to smoke that blend often, I might go ahead and put it in one of my regular pipes. But just one smoke, two smokes of an aromatic, it's not going to be a big issue. It'll eventually go away. So that's how I usually handle it. Now, as far as, well, I have an English blend. I don't really smoke many English blends anymore. And if I do, they're lighter English. I don't really have that problem of English blends. I don't mind tasting some Perique in my other blends. I don't mind tasting, as I mentioned, cigar leaf in my other blends. I don't mind tasting, what did I not cover? I think I've covered everything. I certainly don't smoke a lot of Lakeland Essence blends. I'll cover that in the future, but I don't smoke many of them, so I don't have that problem. So by and large, I just allow my pipes to go to to cover about any blend. I may have pipes that smoke better Virginia Periques and Virginias compared to pipes that smoke better Burleys, but that's another subject. I'm not talking about that. Just talking about ghosting and dealing with the variety of bold flavors coming forward. So that's how I handle it. Most of my pipes, I've spoke about everything except aromatics. I don't really touch Lakeland Essence blends, and I'm happy with it because I like the other taste of these blends in my other pipes or coming through in other blends I smoke. Now, what happens if you have a pipe? Maybe you bought an estate pipe, or maybe you just learned this. You're like, man, now I have these pipes that have a taste in them. What do I do? Well, you may just need to do a quick cleaning, and that could very well just be grabbing some pipe cleaners, and I have videos on cleaning a pipe you can check out. But grab some pipe cleaners, taking apart your pipe, from stem and shank apart, and just cleaning it normally. If it's worse than that, and that doesn't really solve it, you may need to get some, say, grain alcohol, Everclear, whiskey, whatever floats your boat, and just dip a tab of it in with a pipe cleaner and clean it out in that regard. If it's still a problem, you may need to ream your pipe and remove the carbon cake buildup altogether. And even further than that, there's some estate pipes that are, and I've had these, they're really a burden, and they really have this gunky, nasty taste in them, that's old tobacco taste. You may have to have a good deep cleaning special treatment, and I'm not going to cover that in this video. Apologies right now. You can do some searching. Eventually, I'll probably cover it, but you may have to go that far. So those are your solutions, but time also helps you. Let's just remember this. This is not devastating. Often with a lot of this, if you smoke 4 or 5 bowls, it's going to go away and you're going to be fine. So it may just be deal with it for 4 or 5 smokes and it's going to dissipate and you'll have no problem. So guys, that's all I have. I hope that is helpful. Now, if you have follow-up questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to help you. If not, smarter guys, more knowledgeable guys than me can jump in and give their 2 cents as well. That's all I have this week. I hope you're doing well and you're blessed, and we'll talk to you very soon.